Hello! Welcome! I'm Mary, and I am the teacher and founder here at Earth and Star Spiritual Wellness Center. Today, I've been struck, and I want to talk about inspiration. What inspires you? What lights you up? And what's the point of that? Throughout time, we think of inspiration as the thing that guides us towards creation and purpose. And people tend to get depressed when they feel like they can't express. When we think of a writer's block, we're looking at artists, painters, poets, writers, and these are people who quite often we know need inspiration in order to create. But what about the inspiration in our lives now, day to day? What inspires us? What lights us up? What keeps us going and creating and cycling and changing? Change is such a huge part of our lives. When we become stagnant, when nothing changes, nothing is experienced. New experiences come from doing new things. We want to keep growing, we want to keep changing, we want to keep cycling so that we can keep creating new things. So by definition, inspiration is literally, by definition, let me pull up the dictionary. By definition, inspiration is the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. It is the quality of being inspired, especially when evident in something, a person or thing that inspires. Personally, I don't think you should use inspiration in the definition for inspiration. A sudden, brilliant, creative, or timely idea. Now, all of these seem very third eye based, don't they? Very brain, mind based. But let's get a little deeper into this. It also says the divine influence believed to have led to the writing of the Bible. The drawing in of breath, the inhalation. Okay, well, we don't breathe through our brain. We breathe through our chest, through our heart space. And this is how today we're going to get to connect inspiration with the element of air, with the heart space, and even a little bit of your sexual energy. Sexual energy, you say? Okay. I define inspiration as the catalyst towards the expression of our purpose. The catalyst towards the expression of our purpose. I want to touch on purpose for just a second. In the healing community, it is a common misconception that your purpose is something you are supposed to do or create. Wrong! Your purpose is a frequency within which you are to become in this lifetime. When we incarnate, we all know we incarnate for certain reasons, things that we want to feel, things we want to experience, things that we need to go through in order to become who we're meant to become. This is the whole purpose of incarnation and reincarnation. So if we're supposed to be feeling and experiencing things, it stands to reason that your actual purpose is the becoming from those experiences. What your frequency is becoming through the feeling and experiences of what your life actually is from the journey. It is who you are becoming from your journey. And we're all just frequency. Everything is just frequency. Thought is frequency. The world, matter, everything is frequency. Your soul is a certain frequency, and its frequency changes from life to life to life, so that we're becoming a different sound, a different color, a different thing every single life that we go through until we become the frequency of all frequencies, which is nothing but pure love, God, oneness, and we return to that source space because we have reached that frequency again after experiencing everything that there is in the world to experience. So that means that all these things that we know we're called to do and to create is really just an expression of our purpose. Our purpose is the frequency of love, or the frequency we're supposed to become in this life. So when you become any sort of anything that's going, as far as a job or a title goes, when you become any of these things, such as a teacher, a healer, a psychic, a construction worker, a bookkeeper, whatever it is that you do as a job that you thought your purpose was, it's not. That is simply how you express what you divinely are, which is your purpose. As a healer and teacher, that's not my purpose. I could literally not do any of these things, and I would still have my purpose, my frequency inside of myself. But not expressing my purpose, not helping others, not sharing this frequency is part of my destiny. It's what I chose to do because I want to share this with the world. I want to create collective healing, collective peace. And Earth and Star Spiritual Wellness Center was created with that intention. It was created with the slogan, "Welcome home." Welcome home. Even this tattoo upside down looks a bit like a home or a teepee, but the symbol itself within the Hobo Code represents a safe camp, a safe space. This means you are safe here. Welcome home. As a healer, it is not my commitment, it's not my purpose to heal you. As a healer, it is my commitment to love you, to give you a safe space within which to heal, because only you can choose to heal. And we'll get into all of that in a little bit. But nobody else actually has enough power over you to do things to your internal frequency that you don't allow. So even if it's a subconscious allowing, so we are creating a safe space here for you, welcoming you home, but your true home is your frequency, yourself, your authentic self. That is your purpose, that is your destiny, that is who you are, that is your home. So when you say the words, "I am home," emphasize I am home. And that's what that means. I am home. Now let's go back to catalyst for a second. The catalyst towards the expression of our purpose. I express my purpose through my healing work. My frequency is expressed and shown to others through these teachings, through my healing work. Whatever I do that touches you or inspires you is simply an expression of my frequency and my purpose. But the catalyst part, there are a couple of different catalysts that we have. We also have our wounds and our traumas. And our wounds and our traumas are catalysts for growth and expansion so that we can become our purpose. So in life, you have your triggers and you have your glimmers. And your triggers are all of the things that put us into fight or flight response, that make us feel like we have to protect ourselves, that we're not safe because of wounds that we still have not healed through. The wounds that we have, the traumas we have been through, they're simply meant to act as catalysts to growth and expansion. And we do that through healing work. Through healing work, we learn how to look back on those moments, how to see all the different sides. We've experienced being the victim, but we can also have compassion for the perpetrator, seeing what they went through to make them that way, or why they lashed out and did those things that they did. There's so much depth to healing work. So much depth. We can't even scratch the surface. But if you've really dove into your healing work, not just one session or 2 sessions, but really have taken it on as something you're determined to do, going layer by layer by layer by layer, exploring yourself, courageously facing your fears, and lovingly allowing yourself to open enough to trust another person to help you through those things, to trust the universe to support you and guide you and bring you into a state of love again, then you're receiving growth and expansion, which means that we set up traumas for ourselves before we incarnate. And those traumas, even if they take lifetimes to heal, what we are doing is we are putting a gift in a little lockbox. What are they called? The time capsules. We're putting a gift, a spiritual gift, inside of a time capsule, and we're hiding it in our energy field so that a year from now, 20, 30, 70 years from now, 16 lifetimes from now, when I go back to that time capsule and do my healing work, it unlocks. And I've been given a spiritual gift. My frequency changes. I'm becoming more and more my purpose. And this is what traumas are meant to do. We're not meant to simply only experience the glimmers. We need to experience the triggers, because the triggers are the things that guide us back to those traumas, back to those time capsules, and give us our growth, give us our expansion so we can become the frequencies that make us our purpose. The glimmers, I think, are the easier part for us to understand because it's just what we want to look at. We all want to experience the glimmers. And these are the things that when they happen, they impress upon us something that feels good. Something we feel like we want to experience, whether it feels like home or whether it feels like comfort, love, whatever those glimmers feel like, it just reminds us of something. So in Glimmer, instead of triggering our time capsule, a glimmer impresses and lights up inside of our light code system. And our light code system is just the blueprint of the gifts that we have in this life. In every life we have different gifts. They're very time sensitive. So when I experience a glimmer, it's lighting up a certain part of my light code body, and I'm remembering who I am. I'm remembering my gifts. I'm remembering my strengths. I'm remembering the growth that I've already come through. I'm remembering the time capsules I've already unlocked. I'm remembering a frequency of love. When we experience glimmers, inspiration, if you will, it seems, according to definition, and it seems according to the element of air, which we'll get into because inspiration is carried on air elements, that all of this hits us in the third eye space. It doesn't. It hits us in the heart space. This is where inspiration hits, when it connects us to a frequency of pure love. The heart space is our pure energy. It's our connection between heaven and earth, between the energetic and the physical. It is our intention space, our pure intention space. This is our pure love space. And anything that lights that up then moves between the higher and lower chakras. So when you are glimmered, you have lit up your light codes, remembered a heart space, and then it moves to your third eye space and imprints pure thought in your mind and knowledge in your mind. Inspiration brings us into a space of pure thought. Suddenly, when we're inspired, we're no longer talking bad to ourselves. We're no longer feeling bad about ourselves. We're in a space of pure thought. And it brings us knowledge quite often as well. Inspiration makes us say, aha, I know something now. I have an idea of something now. But that's not the first space, it's the second space. And our thoughts controls literally everything. Everything is controlled by thought. So, for instance, this is just a for instance, I hate shopping. I absolutely cannot stand shopping. I'm not patient enough for it. Time is so important to me, and I feel like if I'm out shopping, I'm wasting my time. I also feel like cooking is a waste of my time. But all of these, this is my practice. I know it's all about the journey, not the end point. But I promise it's an awareness practice. I know. I'm working on it. But because I don't like to shop, I don't want to go through tons and tons of clothes, picking the right sizes, things that I like. I have a mail service that sends me a bunch of clothes every so often in my size already, in the styles that I've pre-picked. Because when I set this up, I said, these are the types of things that I like. These are the types of things that I don't like. Don't send me these sorts of things. And so out of their masses of clothes, they pick ones that they think would look cute on me and my body shape and my body style. And they take ones already in my size, bundle them up in this big box, and they send them to me, to my home. And it's like only $30, $40 a month. So it's great. Or $30, $40 a box. So it's great to do that. And so I get these clothes, and here's the thing. Even though they've come to my home, I haven't had to pick them. I haven't had to spend a bunch of time going through them. If I am PMSing on my period, mad about something, or in any way negative, trying on those clothes is still going to suck. I'm not going to like them. I'm not going to like how they look on me. I'm not going to like how they feel. But if I wait a few days until I'm in a positive mood, until I feel better about myself, until I'm not bloated, until I'm just me, in a pure heart space, centered, balanced, when I try on those clothes, I'm going to see exactly which ones work for me and exactly which ones don't. I'm going to feel the ones that feel good to me. And I'm going to be able to appreciate the elements they were made of, the cottons, all of the plants that they were made out of. I'm going to be able to appreciate the feeling that I get from them working with these things. And I'll get to pick really fun things. But it's all about my mind, the thoughts I've had, because the thoughts put you in a mood and an emotional space. And it tells, your thoughts tell you, oh, this looks bad, when in reality it probably doesn't. And on the complete opposite spectrum of that, I have tried on clothes during an ovulation phase before, and everything was just wonderful and beautiful, and it felt so good, and I loved everything, and I bought a bunch of them. And then like a month or two later, when I actually wore some of them and saw pictures of myself later, I was like, why did I pick this particular dress? It literally is way too long, and it doesn't even fit right. It was too big. So, your thoughts control everything on either spectrum, but it's the inspiration moving through that lights that up, that creates a pure thought and brings some sort of aha moment or knowledge. Now it's going to hit that sacral space, right at the belly button. Boy, that sacral space, this is your passion, your fire, your ability to take action, your pure emotion space, your peace space. Your peace space. Isn't it interesting that the same space that controls your emotions and your peace is the space of your fire, action, and sexuality? Interesting. Interesting. Now, how our sexual energy comes into it is that when you've received inspiration, when something's hit your heart and the ideas come to your mind, it is now filling you. And is your sacral space's job to create action, to bring it into the physical world, to transmute it into something that we can see and do and create. So, my suggestion is to hold in your sexual energy and focus it. I see this a lot more with younger people and males, especially, who are used to releasing their sexual energy anytime they feel that urge. But bear with me. If you were to hold that sexual energy, practice celibacy, even with yourself, just for the amount of time it takes to create the thing that your idea and your heart intention is trying to create, you will be able to make it beautiful. On days that I teach, on days that I heal, on days that I feel that inspiration filling me, when I feel the channeling happening and something's coming in, oh, I'm full of that sexual energy. I'm like, yes, let's tear some things down. Let's burn it all to the ground. But I have to focus it, which is quite often you'll notice that on days I'm channeling, if I turn this on, I speak really fast because I have it all built up and I'm ready to pour it out. It needs to get out of me. I've been pinning it in. I've been holding it in, and I'm focusing it towards you. I'm not going to be playing you a song today. I'm just speaking, and then later we're going to do a guided meditation. I thought about that because quite often I like to do songs for you guys after I teach a little bit, but my nails are super long. I haven't cut them. I know I'm a terrible lesbian right now. What? Anyways, but today instead, I've been guided that we're going to do a bit of a meditation after we get all of this teaching out. Now, just to cement in the things that I just talked about, the inspiration hitting the heart, third eye, and then the sacral space, I drew you a little diagram. Let me write. These are how they all work together. Okay, here we go. And it's backwards. You can't read it, but it's fine. I'll teach you. So this is the thought, where everything starts and originates within your body. Because you have a thought, even if it's a subconscious thought, it creates an emotion inside of your body because your emotion wants to validate your thoughts. Should I be happy or should I be mad? Your emotions are dumb as hell. They don't know anything. So if you're having an emotion and you don't know where it's coming from, look at your brain. Look at the things that you tell yourself all the time. Look at the music that you listen to. Look at the shows that you watch. Because some of it is subconscious. You don't know you're thinking these thoughts, but your head is filled with things that your emotions are trying to validate. Thought, okay? It all starts there. Then it comes around to your emotions, like we just talked about. And then it goes to your body. Now, your body catches all of the things that your emotions are creating. So if your thoughts are constantly self-depreciating, telling you that you're not good enough, you're unworthy, you're doubting yourself all the time, you don't believe in your ability to do the things that you want to do, to create the things that you want to create, quite often we have headache type symptoms or migraine type symptoms, and that's very much tied to that sacral space. I'm going to let myself say this. If you're like a child, just plug your ears for a minute. And that goes for adults too. Adults, if you are a child, just plug your ears for a second. So migraines can quite often energetically be released through masturbation. And that is because it is that backup of energy where you are self-doubting and not creating the things you were put here to freaking create. Okay? So our body catches everything. Our knees, if we are being so stubborn and inflexible, our knees tend to hurt. Arthritis in our joints is from holding on to bitterness and resentments long term. That also affects our pancreas space. So every part of your physical body is affected by emotions, by your thoughts. And then here in the little center, we have energy. Energy. Our energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, your physical body, and then all of that affects your energy and begins to imprint on your energy. So long-term negative thoughts that are repeating, long-term negative emotions that are repeating, long-term physical pains that are repeating, imprint into your energy field. Now, this also works backwards, okay? And it works really anyway, because energy is in the very middle. Your energy is the heart space of this particular spiral. So that means that things that are imprinted on your energy field affect your physical body, affect your emotions, affect your thoughts. This also means that if you have injuries to your physical body, it can directly imprint onto your energy. If you have direct injury to your emotions, these are like outside things, like traumas and wounds, then they can directly imprint onto your energy. If someone calls you a stupid slut bag, it can directly imprint onto your energy. Now, here's the thing about shadow work, though. If you are strong enough in your energy that you don't believe any of the things that people say to you, they cannot imprint onto your energy. Your energy affects everything. Your energy, if it's strong enough in itself, if it knows itself, if it's reached a certain frequency of purpose within itself, doesn't believe any of those things. Call me whatever you want to. The things that hurt my feelings, I believe about myself already. The things that don't hurt my feelings, I'm like, they must believe that about themselves. Because that's kind of how that works. So this is like a little spiral that I created to help us understand how these three chakras are so closely related and how everything is imprinted within them. Even the masculine and the feminine, I see that yin yang. Let me draw it. I want to draw it because I think I've even mentioned this before, but now I want to draw it. Okay, now I'm not like an artist or anything, but I am. Okay, I mean I'm not, but we all are, right? How does yin yang go? Okay. So just for poops and giggles, we've created this little yin yang here. So we've got the dark side, which is the feminine side, and the light side, which is the masculine side. But this is one person, right? One energy field, one person. So you are not incomplete if you do not have a partner. And we'll probably end up at some point going into deeper things with sexuality and things like that. Not today, though. One person has masculine and feminine inside of them. Now look at this as if it were a chakra system, as if this was your energy field. Your whole body was this circle. Okay? Now, the masculine comes down like this. And the feminine has the big part here and goes up like this. So that means that your masculine energy is more around your third eye space. It's larger there, but it does have that little dot of feminine in it. And it comes down to the sacral so that it has a little dot of masculine in the sacral, but it's mostly feminine. And then that goes up again. So we can see here, just like apply that to your life however you want to, where your intuition, your emotion, your creation space is in the womb, but there is masculine energy there because they can't be separated. We separate it to try to understand it, but we really can't separate the masculine and femininity within you. Same thing here, it's mostly masculine, observance, wisdom, right action, right thoughts, all of those things, the mountain. But there's femininity in there as well, and they work together in a beautiful way. They can't have one without the other. It'd be pointless. Can you imagine inspiration without action? Migraine, right? Can you imagine action without inspiration? What's the point? There's no purpose. Everything works together in tandem, starting in the heart space, in our pure intention space. Now, when we talked about healers, because we want to be able to be inspired by things, but sometimes our heart space is blocked. Sometimes we have been through things and our time capsules are still keeping us locked inside of our heart space because we need to protect ourselves. We fear that we're going to be hurt again or taken advantage of. We don't trust. And that shuts down that heart space, right? So we need a good healer. We need someone who can help us go into that space, unlock those time capsules, bring us into our growth and our expansion of purpose so that we can start becoming a certain frequency. And then this inspiration comes in and allows us to express our purpose to others, however that comes through in our day-to-day jobs, through writing, whatever it is. We want to express our purpose with inspiration. So in working with a healer, I'm going to call some people out. I'm going to do it right now. I don't even care. Now, trust me, I can see both sides, but I'm feeling a little intense today, and I'm going to call some people out. There are a lot of bad healers out there. These days, healers are a dime a dozen because we've come through a collective reawakening. We understand now what we're supposed to be doing. We're looking towards seers and psychics. We're looking towards healers. We're looking towards shamans. We're looking towards people who remember who they are and are bringing something for us. But not everybody is meant for you. There are going to be certain people that you resonate with, because a healer can only give you what they are. We've discussed this before. A healer can only give you what they are. A healer needs to be heart-centered. If they are not heart-centered, they are not bringing you the pure intention and the pure love that is required for you to be in a safe space to heal. I'm going to talk about somebody. I'm not going to tell you their name. I'm not. But now, also keep in mind that I understand this person is expressing through their own destiny. I understand that this person, through them being the way they are doing their healing work, they're teaching people, and they're helping people understand how they want to be. This particular person is a teacher's teacher, and she is very, very in her masculine energy. She is a teacher, so that's good. You know, she has the knowledge, she has that wisdom, that observation. But as a healer, I was recommended by a psychic to go to her for a very specific healing. And when I went to her, she gets on the phone with me and she says, "What's the problem?" I start to tell her what's going on. This was years and years ago, so I start telling her the story or how I'm feeling, and she says, "Okay, stop." Okay, so I stopped. She starts clearing my energy long distantly, and she says, "How are you feeling?" So I go to tell her, and I'm trying to tell her my emotions, I'm trying to tell her my thoughts, and she says, "No, I don't want to hear any of that. Do you feel lighter, like the story's released from you?" And I was like, "No, because I'm trying to tell you the story." And so she just kept clearing, and 3 different times she said, "Are you lighter now?" And I almost got to the point where I felt like I had to lie because I wasn't able to express the story. Now look, there's reasons for this, okay? There's a couple of different things happening here. On one side, she was healing in a very traditional shamanic way, where you come in, you're touched, the energy moves, and you go on. The issue was my brain, my thoughts. I, just like so many of everybody out there, was having obsessive thoughts. There was a thought somewhere in there that I couldn't quite locate, that was repeating itself over and over and over and over and over again, and my emotions were validating it over and over and over and over again, and my body was tired and hurting, and my energy was blocked from this thing. And instead of going through and letting me express, instead of holding that safe space, listening to my story, moving through that story with me, she was very, very third eye, very masculine, very, this is what's happening, I'm clearing you, you should be cleared kind of thing. I do believe that you can be healed just from a touch, but not from the third eye space, from the heart space. That's the frequency that changes everything. A good healer is heart-centered. So I like to allow you a space. The healing itself, instantaneous. The 2 hours that we spend up to that point is all your mind processing. It's remembering a story. It's walking through that story. It's reliving, courageously facing your fears of that story, and then bringing hope and inspiration and love to that part of your life. Opening the time capsule. The actual opening of the time capsule, instantaneous. But the journey to the time capsule, that's what's taking so long. And I'm a psycho, guys. I'm a psycho. I'm not the type of person who is just like very principle based, where, you know, we want to go in and just, okay, you're done. I like the psychology of it. I like to understand, wow, this is the time capsule. This is how it was placed. This is how I open it. And this is the resultant inspiration that comes from it. I like the psychology of the healing. I like to know how it ripples out. I love quantum healing. I want to see the ripple. So, for me, understanding healing work in the way that I do, a good healer is heart-centered. I'm going to call out Kevin for a minute. Kevin, the healing medium. He calls himself a medium and a psychic, but that man is a healer. He is a heart-spaced healer. So when you look at Kevin from now on, I don't want you to say, oh, he's a psychic medium. Sorry if I'm redefining you, Kevin, without your permission. But healer, 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 healer. So, what was I saying? Oh, a good healer. Okay, heart-centered. They also teach. A good healer knows how to teach. Yesterday, let me take a sip of water. Yesterday, I have a client who I've been working with for a little over a year now. She's an amazing, amazing person. She has wonderful energy. She's come so far with everything, and she is a healer in her own right. She's very heart-centered. I see it in her. She has past lives of being a healer, and this is what she is meant to express. Her purpose may be one thing as a frequency, such as joy, peace, but her expression of her joy, of her pure grace, is through healing work. So we get on here, and she's talking about how she has been seeing somebody for like so many times, maybe like 9 times, about the Akashic, but she still doesn't know how to open her own Akashic. She still doesn't know how to read her own Akashic. And I was like, what? What? A good healer teaches you how to become empowered. A good healer doesn't expect you to keep coming to them every single time something's wrong with you. A good healer might help you get through the hard stuff by really carrying the weight at first, but then a good healer teaches you how to tap into that yourself, become empowered, and do it on your own. My students know this about me, that before they ever text me or email me with a problem, that they better have journeyed on it themselves. Because I'm going to ask you, if you text me, if you interrupt my time with my clients who are coming to me to help heal them, to give them a safe space to love, when you've already had your time, if you're texting me for something like that, I'm going to ask, have you journeyed on this? Have you tried to figure this out for yourself? 10 out of 10, no, they didn't. They just wanted to see what I thought because that's the easiest thing to do. That's not me. I am not a good healer. I am not a good teacher if I'm not helping you take all of these skills, take all of these tools, and apply them to your own life. Yes, I can build you a house. Am I going to build you a house? No. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to help you find the blueprint that is to your liking. I'm going to help you find your frequency. I'm going to teach you how to open your toolbox. I'm going to teach you how to use the tools. And slowly, step by step, you're going to have your house built. During one session, we might be learning how to lay a foundation or just finding the right place to lay your foundation. 3 months later, when I come back to you, that foundation better be laid. And then we're going to learn how to do something different, how to build the walls. And I'm going to teach you how to build those walls. And 5 months later, when I see you again, those walls better be built because we're going to start working on your windows. And this is how this works. Now, for those of you who don't like to be yelled at, I love you. And I will hold you in a very safe space. And I will guide you every step of the way. I will hold your hand. But when you really dig into your healing work, if I've seen you every month for a year, I expect you to know how to meditate, how to journey, how to connect with your guidance a little bit and get some answers for yourself. Not because you have to go learn on your own, but because we're learning as we go. I'm teaching you how to meet your guides. I'm teaching you how to change your Akashic, because we're doing that together as we go. By the way, I did help teach her how to tap into her Akashic. And the problem was that she was being way too third eye centered, too structured, too thoughtful about exactly step by step how to do this particular thing. And she had never actually been guided into what to do once she was in the Akashic space. Now, granted, this was a healer, not a teacher, but a good healer, like I said, helps you take those tools and use them on your own. The first few sessions, you may not be capable of using the tools on your own. So the healer is opening the tool bag for you and showing you what the different tools mean. But after a while, you should be empowered. You should know what to do with your life moving forward. A good healer never lets you become dependent on them. That's a wound all its own. I actually let her tap into my Akashic, and she ended up, believe it or not, she ended up pulling out a past life where I was like co-leader of a group in Peru, and it was me and a man, and I had a very heart connection with the people of this particular community, and he, as teacher, did not. And we eventually ended up going different ways. He became jealous and resentful of the connection I had with these people, and I didn't like the way he didn't lovingly connect with the people when he tried to teach them and heal them. So that was a very interesting thing for her to tap into right before all of this inspiration hits. And it was beautiful and it was wonderful. So a good healer is heart-centered. A good healer teaches and encourages independence. And a good teacher's only commitment to you is to love you, to allow you to heal by giving you a safe space, because you only heal when you're in a safe space. If your mind believes that you are loved, everything unlocks. You become open, you become safe, you become trusting. If your mind believes that your body can be healed, your body stops fighting itself, and it says, I can relax into the arms, into the hands of the universe, knowing that I'm loved and carried and supported. And all of this is representative of the element of air. So for the next week or so, I'd like you to try working with the element of air. Breath. When we think of inspiration and air, again, we think of our thoughts, but we breathe through our lungs, through our heart space, and then it moves through our body. So when you work with the element of air, think of inspiring thoughts, poetry, music, colors, sound. Just really let air move through you. You can sit with breath meditations. You can breathe in for 7 seconds, hold it for 7 seconds, and breathe out for 7 seconds, 7 times, and see how this moves your energy and clears your body. There's so many different ways to work with air. I have, her name is Michele, and she makes these little bells for our shop space, and they're beautiful. They have crystals in them. This one has, and this one kind of represents a whole chakra system. So at the top it has, she's hand woven these in. I don't know how well you can see that, but up here we have clear quartz, amethyst, blue apatite, rose quartz, citrine, tiger's eye, and obsidian. And she's got these, what are these little things called? You know these things, are prisms. She's got these prisms in them and these bells. And bells and feathers are really representative of the element of air, of flight, of rising above the fray. It's so interesting that air is representative of the east portion of the medicine wheel, which is destiny. And also, it's usually represented by some type of bird. In pretty much any culture, the east side is represented by some sort of bird, usually an eagle or a condor or a hawk. And these are big birds that rise high into the air and they drift on the wind. And eagle eyes or hawk medicine, it teaches us to rise above the mundane, to have a different perspective, a different outlook, different thoughts. We rise above the mundane, and we can look down at all the little things happening down there and we're like, oh, that's cute. They're in a huge drama triangle down there. But we're really just up here, letting all of that be what it is, keeping ourselves centered with pure thoughts and a pure mind and pure intentions, and taking action from up here in the air, where it's calm, where it's peaceful, where it's loving, where the air supports us, where we have knowledge. And I love the sound of the bells as well. Bells are so purifying and cleansing in so many different spiritual practices and cultures. So I like to hear the bell. Now, if you like this is available in our shop, and it is a consignment item, so Michele does get paid if you buy one of her little things, and she has a few different kinds. So if you're interested in one of these, just drop a comment and let me know, and we can get in touch, and I can send a few different pictures. And she sells these right now for $40, and they're all hand done. They're hand woven with all the little crystals, and this one has a tree of life pendant on the end. Now, Miss Faris makes these little pendulums by hand. Now, this could be representative of air if you wanted to do something like this. I was just super guided to this morning for whatever reason, and this is sunstone, and I just like it. It moves on the air, it catches the air, and if you think of what a pendulum actually does, it physically shows us as a physical representative of how energy moves, and energy moves however our thoughts tell it to move. So if I were using this to douse your chakras and see which chakras were open and which chakras were closed, depending on your mood, your emotions, your thoughts, your peace level, it might show me that this is just a tag, it might show me that one of your chakras is open, or it might show me that one of your chakras is closed. Now, even those who use this for divination purposes and things like that, always be careful that you are really being an open, clear channel and you know what it is you're getting in touch with as you use it for divination. I don't use it for divination, but some people do, and that's okay. For instance, if I'm getting in touch with my higher self and asking if something's right or wrong for me, or if I'm trying to physically have a representation of a particular guide of mine or a particular ancestor or a particular angel and asking questions, what this is doing is it's catching the frequency, the message that's coming in, and it's showing you what that frequency and that message is. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Archangel Uriel. For some reason, I'm getting a message, do we need a new home? Is my home safe? Now, I'm going to take this pendulum, and if the answer is yes, you need a new home, it's going to move in a clockwise direction, which might look opposite to you through the screen. And if the answer is no, it's going to move in a counterclockwise direction. If there's some other answer, or that's an irrelevant question or something like that, is going to move side to side. Okay, so does this person need a new home? Interesting. 3 times in a row, the pendulum said yes, other, no. Wow. Okay, well that was confusing as heck, Uriel. Okay, let's move to the second question. Am I safe? Because this seems like the actual core question that's leading to wanting to move to begin with. Is this person safe? We're going to just channel that. Stop it, Uriel. You're doing it again. Yes, maybe no. Okay, goodness. This is why I don't like to channel live on videos. Okay. But what's coming through, when it was in the maybe space, I was starting to get a message that we didn't feel safe because of some trauma that we're holding, because of a fear that we're holding. Is this person physically safe in their home? Let's say that. That's a yes. You are physically safe in your home. And they're being very adamant about that. It's going. Okay. Okay. Is this person held in a locked space and trauma of fear from something that happened in the past? Again, we have another yes. And it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay. Will changing houses or moving ultimately help this person find the time capsule that keeps them feeling safe? And the answer is no. So, healing work. This is where the trigger, the healing work, the catalyst for growth and expansion comes in. Find a good healer. Work on your past trauma around fear, betrayal, those sorts of things. Now, Uriel, don't leave. Come back. Okay. When this person does their healing work and overcomes that sense of fear and betrayal on the inside, and on the inside becomes a different frequency, will they then feel safe in their home. Home, should they still get a new house? Are there other reasons, inspirations, or other places this person is being guided to where they just simply want a new house if they move for the right intention? There's more to the story. Okay. Okay, so I feel like this person is being guided to a new space. And I'm horrible with geography. Everybody who knows me knows I'm horrible with geography, but I'm seeing something more towards the central, like the center of the country, but not like the upper central, more like the lower central. There-ish. Okay. Is it simply this person's destiny? Is it part of their expression of purpose to move to this space so that they can express their purpose, so they can do the things that they're being called to do? No. Okay. Is it their destiny, or are they supposed to move to this particular space because there's a person there that they're supposed to meet? Yes. Yes. You're supposed to heal all of this fear of betrayal and move to another space because there's a person there that you're supposed to meet. Is there anything else, Uriel, we need to know about this situation? I'm getting the sense this means not now, but soon, because this is that maybe answer again. Thank you, Uriel. And thank you, Miss Faris, for creating this beautiful, beautiful pendulum. These are also for sale in the shop. She's selling them for only $22, and these are handmade. So I don't know if you can see all of these little intricate details that she has, but she has handmade this with all of these beautiful stones, and it has this little pendant on it. This particular one says joy, but there's ones for inspiration, there's ones for peace, there's all kinds of different ones, and this is a beautiful one that I was guided to today. So if there's if you want to look at pendulums, drop a comment. We can tell you which crystals we have and what little pendants are on each one, and we can get those shipped out to you if you want. So thank you guys for letting me use your products here to demonstrate air and inspiration. And now I want you to get quiet. Let's take a journey. So I'm going to give you just a second. I want you to get yourself into a space where you can lay down, where you can relax, take a few deep cleansing breaths. Close your eyes. And with every breath that you take in, I want you to feel the air moving through your body. Feel it coming in from the bottom of your feet, moving all the way up your spine and out of the top of your head. Filling you and moving through you like wind. Letting that wind open your channel, blowing away all blockages, blowing away stray thoughts, blowing away heavy emotion. Just letting yourself feel very, very open, free, clear. And the more open and free and clear you become, the more you begin to feel like you're floating. Relax all of the muscles in your body. Release all tension in your body. Feel it flowing away. Release all fear, doubt, impatience. And letting that floating feeling rise up in you. Feel yourself floating towards a very special place in the woods. A sacred grove. A place surrounded by strong trees. The sun shining through the leaves, dappling the ground with warmth and light. Looking up, you can see the canopy of the branches and leaves as they touch and caress each other. The wind gently blowing through the treetops, bending the branches, creating a sound, a whistle that moves through. And you can smell the trees, the firs, the pines. They have such a beautiful woodsy scent. And you're just floating there in the center of this grove, feeling light, peaceful, relaxed. There's a pool of water nearby, and the trickling of the water washes over your senses, lulling you deeper and deeper into relaxation and peace. You feel guidance beginning to come in. You feel like you're not alone here. Even though you can't see that guidance yet, you know you're not alone here, and it feels like something's lighting up somewhere. A light has been turned on. Feel yourself being pulled and guided towards a special place on the other side of this sacred grove. A little hut, a special place just for you. Feel yourself floating and moving towards that hut, that special place. And as you move into that special place, inside of the hut, you find all of the things that light you up. There are lit up things inside of this special hut that's just for you. These could be objects. These could be symbols, representations, feelings, emotions, colors, sounds could be in here. Lots of lit up things. Just believe and accept every single thing that's inside of here that's lit up, knowing it's just for you. That it has a special place in your heart, that it makes you feel connected and pure, loved, loving. Allow yourself a few moments in silence here to explore these things, to see what they mean to you, how they make you feel, what they look like and sound like. And then allow yourself to integrate those things in. Feel them moving inside of your body, just becoming one with you, impressing themselves upon your light codes, lighting you up from the inside, inspiring your heart before moving through your body. And you don't have to know how they're moving or how you're going to express them. Right now, just feel them in your heart. Feel how they make you feel. Like you have a pure intention. They're here purely for you. Let them make you feel love and loving and loved. Feeling supported, connected. And as you move out of this space, back into your sacred grove, here everything is suddenly different. You're surrounded by colors and sounds, by guides, by animals. Come into the center of your sacred grove, lit up from the inside, surrounded by animals and guides and colors and sounds, and let yourself float there. Notice the animals that have come. They all have medicine to give. Feel all of that air, the wind supporting you, holding you. While you're lit up in this way, you don't even have to hold the weight of your own body. You're simply floating, intensely aware of being held in the hands of the universe. And a fire begins to light itself in the center of your sacred grove. This beautiful fire. This fire could be low and small and warm. It could be big and large, consuming. It could be blue, red, orange, green. Just be present with this imagery for a moment or two. Even if you're not seeing anything, just feel it. Just know that you're there. Let that heart connection happen. Let yourself float there, being lit up from the inside. I'm seeing lots of bears and rabbits, eagles. Whatever is here for you is so special, and it's just for you. Let it inspire you. At this point, I just want to thank you for joining me today, for listening to the wind, to the air, for letting your heart be touched with inspiration. Feel all the gratefulness moving through your body. Let yourself journal or just continue with this imagery for a while until it feels right for you to come back. And we'll talk again soon.